Interesting past week in the world of pro wrestling, with Roman Reigns teasing that he could be leaving WWE very soon. We got that and more WWE news, so hit those notifications to always be up to date, and let's get right into it. If you ever watch Kevin Owens on a WWE live event, then you know that he loves to troll the fans, and he always seems to be having the most fun. This weekend, he joined the Bloodline because he wanted to, as a joke, I guess. This weekend at a WWE live event, Kevin Owens was spotted showing off a Bloodline t-shirt. This is obviously very interesting, but Kevin Owens was also sending a message. The printed merch featured Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Paul Heyman bragging cash and WWE title belts. Fans tweeted sarcastically that Kevin Owens has now joined the Bloodline. And it's funny that the first shirt that he uses besides his after turning heel is the Bloodline, who he literally tried to battle for about 4 to 5 months. And in the end, as we know, Roman Reigns walked out victorious and still holding that Universal Championship. Unfortunately for him, he's not able to join the Bloodline because Kevin is now part of Monday Night Raw. This got some social media attention, which is clearly what Kevin Owens wanted. And this is him showing appreciation to the most dominant stable in WWE right now. So typical Kevin Owens, doing something in live events that he definitely won't be able to do on WWE television. There's some new reports in the latest in regards to Alexa Bliss and her WWE return. In response to a fan question asking her when she will return to the ring, Alexa Bliss simply stated that she quote-unquote needed time to heal. She also included a black heart emoji. The tweet implies that she's not ready to return to the ring just yet. Alexa Bliss was written off WWE television in September at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. PW Insider though reported that she was still to undergo small surgery and the exact time frame for her return was not known. So no specifics on when she is going to be returning, but it is possible that they could hold it off until the new year. The Royal Rumble could be a possibility since she would get a big reaction in front of a stadium crowd. This upcoming week of Monday Night Raw is shaping up to be an interesting show with a couple of good things already confirmed. This is everything that has been announced for the show so far. We got Finn Balor taking on Seth Rollins in one-on-one competition. There will be the return of the Rated R superstar Edge, and he's asking fans on Twitter who he should be going after. So who's going to be Edge's next opponent, very likely to face off against him at the Day 1 pay-per-view, which is clear WWE is stacking that one up right now. And last but not least, WWE announced Big E versus Kevin Owens. On to some other quick news. During an appearance on Talk Is Jericho, Kurt Angle was a special guest, and he ended up talking about the recent opportunity he had to work with WWE, but why things didn't work out. And this was in regards to him accepting a managing position for Matt Riddle when Matt Riddle was getting called up. Kurt Angle indicated that he was actually very interested in WWE's pitch for him to manage Matt Riddle, but he ultimately turned it down because the money was said to be horrible, which is unfortunate to hear this. WWE low blowing a legend like Kurt Angle, at least give him a decent amount of money. So hard to blame Kurt Angle for ultimately rejecting WWE. Initially, a lot of the reports indicated that Kurt Angle just didn't want to do this type of position, but it looks like he was down for it, and I'm still down to see it happen. Kurt Angle is phenomenal on the microphone, and obviously his best wrestling years are behind him, so him managing a guy like Matt Riddle, who is pretty much on the rise right now, and clearly WWE is dedicating time to him, will be money in the long run, and that will be the right way to use a legend like Kurt Angle. Up next, we're talking what everybody's talking about, and that is Roman Reigns leaving WWE soon? Question mark. I'll switch it up, and instead of just recapping what he said on SmackDown, although we're gonna do that, I'll also give you guys my thoughts on what actually he meant and how it's probably just all connected to The Rock. So this past week on Friday Night SmackDown, Roman Reigns dropped a tease that he could be leaving WWE WWE in the near future. Reigns specifically stated the following: "I'm your tribal chief and I'm the greatest of all time, and when my days are done around here, which could be sooner than later, the whole world will acknowledge me." So personally, when watching this, I simply felt that it was just another teaser for the Roman Reigns versus The Rock matchup, which WWE basically ended up teasing it the whole past weekend at SummerSlam. We saw at that event how, out of everybody, Vince McMahon simply wanted to talk to Roman Reigns about an egg that The Rock sent him and how much it was, all of which led to a silly storyline on Monday Night Raw. So the payoff, in my opinion, was horrible, but clearly that was just a tease of a Roman Reigns versus The Rock matchup, that if a miracle happened, it will happen at next year's WrestleMania, but it is more than likely happening at the one after that, at least based on current reports. But who knows? Roman Reigns also saying this on SmackDown was right after he indicated that he pretty much have gone through the entire WWE roster and there's basically nothing else for him to do, so he might as well just go somewhere else. And obviously that somewhere else for a top WWE superstar is Hollywood, which Roman has some experience on it already, and obviously The Rock dominates over there. I don't think Roman is gonna be done anytime soon. He definitely got a solid 5 to 10 years on him. If anything, maybe he would transition to a part-time position in the WWE, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. The plan is obviously for Roman Reigns to break Brock Lesnar's record of 504 days of being a Universal Champion, and for him to get pushed as the quote-unquote greatest WWE superstar of all time, ultimately clashing to a matchup against The Rock. Now, when would that happen? Who knows? As for Roman Reigns' contract, there's no reports on when exactly that is going to be done, but he did sign a contract extension in August of 2019, according to WrestlingNews.co. If the deal is for 3 years, then his deal will be up by the summer of 2022. But of course, it is worth mentioning that Roman Reigns did took some time off during the pandemic, obviously due to precautions. That could affect that contract, although WrestlingNews.co does indicate that WWE has not been adding time to wrestler contracts for COVID-related reasons. The other big possibility around that time, we were at the beginning of AEW and WWE was doing a lot of 5-year contracts, which will put Roman Reigns' current contract around 2024. So again, it certainly doesn't look like he is quote-unquote leaving WWE. Maybe after that he will take a lighter schedule and actually do some extra work for Hollywood, which obviously is the next transition to a top guy like him. At this point, it's just a given and a matter of time before it happens. Anyways guys, that is all the latest wrestling news to wrap up this week. If you enjoy or found it informative, don't forget to elbow drop it and hit those notifications. I will catch you on the next one, so stay savage.